Okay, welcome everyone. So excited to have you here tuning in for our team call this week. With it being 4th of July weekend and 4th of July yesterday, I want to welcome everyone who is tuning in for the replay as well. And just want to say that I'm super, super proud of all of you who are making time to tune in live, even with all the things you may have going on with family or festivities and all of that. It's really an honor to be hosting this first Monday call of the month as we get to celebrate rank advancements from last month. I know last month was an incredible month for our company, one of the highest in our history, which is incredible. We have so much excitement around the launch of our new personal care and also the new flavors of Axio. And Jennifer Murray did do a fabulous job kind of coordinating a end of the month promo around Axio. So be watching the chat feeds for the announcement of who will be winning those from both the customer standpoint and also distributor standpoint of the distributor who sold the most Axio during that last burst towards the end. We're also so excited for everyone who has qualified for Cabo, and there's still some lists that are going to be generated and updated just to finalize who all qualified for that. I'm super excited to be going, and I know a lot of people worked there at the end just to make it happen and get qualified to go to Cabo in August. So we'll be doing the recognition for that next week just so that we make sure we have everyone. But I'm going to start out by celebrating all of our rank advancements from last month. And we're going to start with the Pro 1. So let's just put our hands together and blow up the chat if you recognize someone's name and have someone who you are connected with who has had some great success or is newly joining the team. So Andrea Jasmine, Pro 1, Tara Nagy, Pro 1, Philip Johnson, Pro 1, Tammy Quick, Pro 1, Yale Hardley, Pro 1, Cassandra Van Beringer, Pro 1, yay! Tamar Hemlick, Pro 1, Steve Blankenship, Pro 1, Tim Booth, Mary Holbert, Pro 1, Joseph Hirosky, Daniel Henderson, Terrell Pascal. So let's put our hands together for all of the new Pro 1s, whether you've rank advanced to Pro 1 or have come in with a platinum. We're just so, so proud of you and also super excited for you. There's a saying in our company that a Pro 10 is a Pro 1 who never quits and just is committed to personal development growth and sticking to it. So that's a really awesome place to be. Next, we have the Pro 2s, and we have Sandra Enns. Congratulations, Sandra. Also, Tamara Breyer. Tammy, I am so proud of you. You are a pace setter Pro 2. So in your first month in our company and on our team, reaching Pro 2 is a big deal. So way to go, Tammy. Diane Wesley, super proud of you. I know you've been working hard at this, so way to go, woman. Marilyn Burden, Pro 2. Pro 2 is a big deal, so congratulations to all of you. For Pro 3s, we have Maxwell Huntley. Way to go, Max. I know your mom is super, super excited about that and for you. And for Pro 4s, we have Sky Shank and Susan and Jamie Alden, one of their business centers. So way to go, super proud of you. I think that means for both of you, you're headed to Cabo. So way to go for getting Pro 4 in the bag. So as far as all of those rank advancements go, I just want to kind of continue on with a couple of announcements. And we do have something that is really kind of a big deal that's coming up, which is Elite Academy this coming Saturday. It will be streamed live and it will be available for 1 week. So whether you have your watch party organized or plans for that being finalized, that is coming up. So there's still time to register. And this call is actually going to be all around the importance of events and also why that's such a key to our success here at Lifevantage. And something that is really important for us to all know is that at the end of July, we are going to be shifting back to the pre-COVID event cadence. So what does that mean? During the year of COVID and just everything that's gone on, corporate has really done everything they possibly could to be really accommodating with doing things virtually and also incorporating things like success mastery. So after the month of July, success mastery will be no longer happening on a weekly basis. That was something that was really brought to the table as a way to support us during this year. And so we're going to be shifting back to the previous event cadence. Now, what does that mean? We have monthly Lifevantage academies, and we also have elite academies about 2 times a year, and then global convention once a year to once like every 18 months. So it's going to be really important just to tune in for those events and also really utilize the fact that we have all of the success masteries as recordings that are still available in the playbook and on our app. So I think I might need to mute someone here really quick. Okay, welcome everyone. I'm so glad you're all here. So anyways, what I wanted to talk about today is really something that I'm extremely grateful for in that in coming into Lifevantage, one of the things that was really conveyed to me was that there wasn't a lot of hype around this being a get rich quick. Something that was really emphasized to me was the fact that it's a 3 to 5 year commitment to have success in network marketing and with our company, Lifevantage. And honestly, I'm incredibly grateful for the fact that my own personal story is a reflection of that fact, that in that commitment to following the system and really plugging into the events and being committed to personal growth, even when there have been hard points in the journey, there is always another breakthrough just around the corner that can help you up level your own personal success and equip you to have the resources and tools to be able to support others. So I have a few special guests on with me today who have been inspirations to me along this journey. And I just asked them to share a little bit about how the events have been impactful for them and how it's also been a sacrifice, because just like this saying goes, what's easy to do is easier not to do. And so I think sometimes with events or planning Zooms into our schedule, what's easy to do is easier not to do. And so with us shifting back into this event cycle, I have 3 women who are going to be sharing, and I'm so excited just to have them share some of their wisdom and personal experience around how events have been such a pivotal point for them, and then we'll tie it together at the end. So first, I'm going to introduce Kristen Algren. She's out of Hawaii, and really all of the ladies on this call who are sharing are from Hawaii. And I think something that really impacted me in a powerful way with all of them making the commitment to this business and to showing up was that they didn't have the option to jump in a car and really make it more affordable to be able to get to the events. And with Hawaii often having the living expenses be like 6 times over what it is here in the mainland, and then tacking on flights and all of the expense to fly to other islands or to the mainland has been hugely inspirational to me to not make excuses in that regard. So Kristen, so excited. Thank you for being willing to share.
Sure. Thanks, Melody. So happy to share. I'm actually in Minnesota right now, where my husband's from. And so, yeah, I was just kind of thinking the last few minutes what I was going to share. And I got started with Lifevantage 4 years ago. And people who know my story know that I just had my pinky finger in or my pinky toe in. I didn't really know what was going to happen. I wasn't really trying. I had a lot of fear about it. My friends were extremely judgmental. And I just remember telling people, I'm just going to try it out. I'm going to see what happens, because that was my fear in case I failed, right? I was kind of setting myself up in case it didn't work. And so I went to a couple of the LVAs, they brought them back, right? Which is considered an event. And I remember the people who came kept saying, you have to go to the events. They're non-negotiable. They're crucial to your business. And it was just something that was in my head. And me being a flight attendant, I fly for free. So I told Sarah and Katie and Taya, I'm like, we should go to the event and just kind of make it a fun girls trip. So we flew all the way to Orlando from Hawaii. And what happened completely blew our minds. And I think that is why our business just exploded, is because we were able to be there, because we get the no's all the time, right? We get the rejection, but you're in a room of thousands of people who are all yeses. And it just gets you so excited, and you see it's just a bunch of normal people who are having success, and you realize that, oh my gosh, I can do this. And you really feel the integrity of the company and corporate. And I know July is not in person, but it's second best. So if you're not registered for July, please do lock yourself in a room, get together with your team. And if you're not registered for October in person, there's still tickets. I mean, to me, the events are one of the biggest pieces of the business. And yes, we have to spend money to get there. But the thing is that we're able to have a ginormous business for just hundreds of dollars. So just it's like putting money back into your business, and it is so worth it. And another thing is, it's not just as important to get yourself there, get your team there. Like, I want you to just keep imagining, the people that are coming in as distributors or even customers in the next couple of months. Just try to wrap your brain around getting your team there as well, because it will just magnify so much. So I could go on and on, but I'm going to stop there. And thanks so much for listening.
Absolutely. I love how you shared that component of bringing your team along with you, because I know for my dad's personal enroller, Rusty Cottrell, when he first joined in as a physical therapist who was super passionate about the products, he was a little hesitant to think, like, why do I need to go to an event? And I'm so glad that someone encouraged him to make that sacrifice to fly all the way from Hawaii to Florida for one day, because he wasn't tuning in on Saturday. So it was just for Friday. And tuning in for just for Friday is what really helped him have a vision for, this isn't just about getting these products into people's lives. And honestly, I'm incredibly grateful for that, because him saying not only yes to sharing, but yes to going to the event, to yes to growing and understanding more of what network marketing really is what led to my yes. And so that's another thing to keep in perspective, is that you making the sacrifices to do things that push you out of your comfort zone is part of what helps you grow to be able to build a big, beautiful team. And that's incredibly powerful as well. So next, I'm going to invite Carrie Hiltsley to share as well. She's been a huge inspiration to me over the years, as she's someone who's been at every single event right alongside with me. I think I met her at my first event, and she's just such an incredible human. And I've been really inspired by her consistency and commitment to Lifevantage and to helping others and to personal growth. And so I know that anyone listening is going to get some words of wisdom from her today. And I appreciate you being willing to share how events have been huge for you.
Hi guys, thank you. It's so wonderful. It's like I'm the one in the elite academies and the globals and whatnot, seeing the switch and the transformation in other people, especially with yourself. I remember seeing the switch in you and the decision, Melody, to move forward. And I was like, I know that we have these times where, this is a roller coaster ride, and there's times where we go to the events and we might be feeling low. Yeah, we've got our, some of our team there. We wish we had more, but I've seen switches in some people, and it gave me more motivation to just keep going. And like, Julie Mai, she's my mom in this business in the beginning, like, cracking the whip on me to go to the events and like fly to Oahu, and I always just try to make it excuses. Like, I'm also running another business. And even now I'm here with Kasha here in California, and we're going to travel to Connecticut to see our team there. And like, I know you have to go, and taking people along with you, Kasha, really helps. So, yeah, I can't say enough thank you to Julie from, the beginning, to just twisting me to go to these events, because I didn't want to go. I didn't want to spend the money. I didn't want to, make the schedule for my helpers to do my work for me. I didn't want to give up the power, but it's part of it, and I want to say, like, I was just listening to something a little bit ago today, with Amy Homewood just came through, and she said on there, like, this is not something that's just going to be a little bit of a thing for somebody. This is something that we need to put in time. And like, how many times have I heard people say, oh, I'll give it a year or two, and when I hear that with people, I tell them, well, this might not be for you then, because this is a company that's not going anywhere. We're going places, and you really have to stick your stake in the ground and get in for the long ride. And I think explaining that to people in the beginning is like, this is just not something that you're just going to want to do for a year or two. Trust me. And we're going to learn along the way. And the events are a pivotal part of it. Like, for a whole year, we couldn't go, we could go online, and a lot of people did, and it was wonderful. And now we can go again. And so here we are, we're going. And yeah, I just think, like, if you're afraid, really reach out and ask, like, for all of us, like, what was it that made you really, switch your mind to going to these things, and sticking your stake in the ground and saying, this is it, for a lot of us, we're doing 2 or maybe 3 businesses, and this is one that's in for, we have to fit it in. And so wrapping our minds around, putting our calendar together is super important for having this thing in our calendar, a non-negotiable. We can set it out for a year. We know what's coming. And especially now, if we're going to have one meeting a month, like, we can stick it in there and we cannot negotiate on it. So thank you, Melody, for inviting me to come, and Kasha. Unbeknownst to everybody else, we're together. So traveling tomorrow to Connecticut. Can't wait to see some of our Polish team and be at the Elite Academy virtually with all y'all. Thank you.
I absolutely love that. And so, just so all of you guys know how you can keep track of the events, whether you're here in the US or in Canada or in Europe, wherever you may be, when you're in your virtual office and you go to the upper right-hand corner, there is the event schedule, and you can go in there and see everything that's available to register. And I just want to highlight, since we're kind of shifting back to the previous event cadence, the Lifevantage Academies are once a month. It's the third Saturday, but when you register for that and pay the $25, it's available for you to watch until Monday at midnight Mountain Standard Time. So that's huge. And just like Carrie said, schedule it in, non-negotiable, make it happen, whether you're watching alone or bringing a friend along with you. These events are what lead to us growing. And I'm just going to share something really quickly before I'm going to introduce someone who I absolutely adore. And that is, for myself personally, when I learned about Lifevantage and Pro Tandem, I saw a vision for these products getting into homes all over the world. But my husband and I did have a financial need. And so that was something that I was looking at. And when I was looking at those ranks of Pro 5, Pro 6, Pro 7, I thought to myself, here we're spending hundreds and thousands of dollars to go to university and college to be able to get qualified to be able to earn a livable income. And so honestly, I was a little bit resistant with going to my first event. And, I was having someone say, like, over and over, I think it was Rusty, you got to go to this event. You got to go to this event. And I was just kind of giving him some pushback. I'm like, I'm focused on my other career. Well, he got a third party on that call to get me to go to my first event. And I finally just, like, at my event, I realized, like, this is my tuition. It's like chalk it up to tuition. Like, if you're wanting to earn an income, yes, you might have some like initial success with sharing, but to really make this your profession and your livelihood, it's essential to chalk it up to tuition. And I can't tell you how much I spent, on my dental hygiene career and how much we spent for Leighton to be able to be a physical therapist. But the fact that both of us have been able to step away from both of those careers through the income we get through Lifevantage, honestly, sometimes just completely boggles my mind and humbles me. But when I think about it, I recognize that that investment was made. That investment was made in going to the events, it was made in traveling to do meetings or whatever it may be. And so that's something that we each have the ability to make a personal decision about. Like, how far do I want to go with this? How many lives do I want to impact? Am I willing to do what it takes to be willing to grow and invest in myself and, you know, recognize that it does take time. It's not, a 1 to 2 year thing, as Carrie said. It's really a lifestyle, and so that's huge too. And so I'm really, really, really pumped to introduce Julie Mai. I know we all know her and love her, but she actually is an incredible woman, and I think one of the reasons why she's had really quick success with getting to the elite ranks really quickly was because she learned very quickly the value of promoting events and the value of not trying to be the one to be everything for everyone. She recognized people need to go to the source to grow. And that's the best advantage for them to be able to really have the same opportunity that she had. And so I remember her sharing a story of flying from her island to the other island every month for Lifevantage Academy. And you'll see on the schedules, there's like 3 locations around the country, and then there's the online option. Well, there wasn't an online option. And so they were flying every month. And that sacrifice is what leads to success if you're willing to put in the work to apply what you learn at these events. So Julie, thank you for being a mentor and a friend and for sharing on this call today.
Oh, thank you. Can you hear me good? Thumbs up. Awesome. First of all, Sarah, your little nugget, I can only see 4 of you on my screen and you're one, and I just can't take it. He's so cute. This topic, you guys, is, I had a meeting with my electrician today at noon, but I told Mel, I said, when she asked me to share, I said, let me see if I can move some things around, because this is a topic that I get really passionate about. This is something that I feel is the utmost importance especially when you're starting to build the business. I kind of did a couple little notes because I wanted to touch on a few things, but I believe that there's 3 things that you must have when you start out with this business and as your business grows. The first thing is you have to have a burning desire, you guys. You have to have something inside of you that drives you to do this business, because we all know that when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and it's hard. There are days where you want to throw in the towel and you just want to say, this is too hard. I'm going to go back to my job. It's more, I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. And so that burning desire is what makes you have those moments and realize like, okay, this is hard, but it's that short-term imbalance versus that 40 to 50 year plan that I've signed up for. The second thing that you have to have is you have to be coachable. This is so important, that if you want what someone else has, then you have to do what they did. And I got that really early on. That was one thing that I really understood, that all of these mentors, none of them being from the state of Hawaii, they were all from the mainland. And they said, you have to go to the events. It's a non-negotiable. You have to show up and see what you're a part of so that you can have that posture. And that was really hard. I love what you said, Mel, about, this being your tuition. It was hard. I mean, I was working, a full-time jewelry design company that I had when I started. I was working as a waitress. My husband was a full-time mason, and we were living month to month, paycheck to paycheck. Although we weren't struggling to where we couldn't feed our family, there wasn't much left over. And that is one of the reasons that I knew I wanted to do this, because I knew I wanted to create that future for my family. I wanted to buy a home. I had bigger desires and dreams than just plugging in day after day, being sick and tired of being sick and tired. So that was that burning desire that I had. I knew that it was going to cost me money. I knew that I had to go into a little bit of debt, maybe credit card debt, to build this. But I knew that if I didn't show up to these events, then I wasn't going to have the success that I wanted. And so that's a piece of being coachable that I think, it's so easy to make excuses. Like Carrie said, she was one of my main leaders back then. I'd be like, let's go, we're going to Oahu again. And she'd be like, oh, I got to work. Or, so many people would make up these excuses, and you can only push so much. As a leader, you don't want to push someone over the edge, but knowing what I knew, that the more people that I could get there to build that belief, to make that decision for themselves, the bigger my business would grow and the more leaders I would have. And so why it was always such a big piece of my leadership in the beginning, is just getting people to come with me. I'm that leader that I'm like, let's all go together. I believe in, the more the merrier. If we can all go together and experience this together, that momentum that we can create. So the third one, so first is burning desire, second is being coachable, and the third is attending events, for all of the reasons that I just stated, for everything that Mel and Carrie and Kristen stated. You guys, the thing about events is, not only are you in a room with thousands of yeses, like Kristen said, it's so true. You get no's all day, and then you get to this event and there's thousands of people, and you're sitting there and you're looking around and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not a weirdo. There's lots of people like me that are super awesome that are doing this. And I know that there's more out there, and it puts that belief in your heart. And this is where those decisions are made. This is where the decision is made. We're like, these are my people. I remember, I think it was a Pro 3, the first event I went. I think it was, gosh, where was it? It was either Utah or Dallas. I don't even remember. I've been to so many. And I just remember sitting there with tears running down my face, listening to someone's story about how this business had completely changed their life. And I remember thinking, this is my people. That is my person. Like, her story is my story. And if I didn't go, I would have never experienced that. And that I would have never had that in the back of my mind, going on those hard days when I was breaking down and falling on the floor and looking at my kids and sacrificing, not remembering that woman that shared that story of her testimony of leaving her family. And now here she is living the life she wanted. I wouldn't have that to look back on and be like, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing this. I got to get as many people to these events as I possibly can so that they can have those moments. Because what I've found is, you never know when you're going to have that moment. You could go to an event and you could be like, it was all right, that was great. And then, someone you brought could have that life-changing moment where they're like, that person spoke to my heart, and this is what I'm going to do for the next 3 to 5 years, for the next 10 years, whatever it may be, whatever your goal is. I just spoke for Sarah on the biohackers, team tropical biohackers call on Thursday. And I shared the same thing, because you guys, that sacrifice that Melody said, it takes sacrifice to show up to these events. We've had a year of being wherever we want. Here we are in our cars, here we are wherever across the country, being on our Zoom calls, which is a sacrifice, because you have to take an hour or half an hour out of your life. But to be able to book that ticket and to know that you're going to leave your family and you're going to take your team and you're going to go do this, it's just a bigger sacrifice. And it's hard in the beginning. It is. There's a lot of money that goes out, and you're just hoping that it's going to come back. But it's that tuition. I love what you said, Mel. That's so true. People go to school to be doctors and nurses and whatever they go to school for, and they spend all this money to get this degree that hopefully they're going to do the degree that they got and spend all this money for. But I have a girlfriend who's a psychologist, and she has $150,000 worth of student loans that she's still paying off 10 years into her degree, 10 years into her career. It's crazy. So just knowing that the sacrifice and the money that you spend to show up for yourself and to show up for your team is the money that builds this business for you, it's just a give and take. You have to put something out to get something in return. And I'm going to end with this. I do believe in the beginning, it's for your own belief. It's for your own posture. It's for your own, really that belief, that decision that you make. But then as you start to grow your business, it's for your team. You can't tell someone to do something you're not willing to do. You really can't. You know, I know as this business goes and grows, things shift and change, but you know, you have to be able to be that leader too and say, let's go do this together. And so that's why, you know, some people are like, oh, I already heard all that, or I've been there, but it's not necessarily for you at that point. It's for the people that are going to come with you. It's for the people that are watching you and seeing what it takes to build this business. So I'm so grateful that the events are coming back, because I'm a people person. I love to hug and squeeze and touch and feel and see how small we are and see how big we are in real life. And and I'm just so excited that the events are back. I'm so excited for October. You guys, if you haven't booked, because we all get to be together in person. It's been so long, and I'm going to have to just throw it out there because no one has yet. For Saturday's EA, we have the one and only Kristen Algren. She's going to be sharing. So make sure that you're plugged in. She's actually flying out there tomorrow, I think. So make sure you've signed up. We're all rooting for you, Kristen. You're going to do so good. We're so proud of you. And I'm excited to see what this weekend is going to bring. And I'm really excited for October to squeeze you all in person. So love you, Mel. I'm going to pass it back because I know I probably gone over.
I love all of you ladies so much. Thank you for being willing to share. And thank you, Julie, for just tying a beautiful bow at the end. And yes, we just are so excited for Elite Academy this weekend. It's going to be really wonderful to hear Kristen share. I know she was kind of telling me a little bit about her topic, and it's going to be so good. I'm so excited. Anyways, for global, I do want to let you all know that there is a cap on 2,500 people being able to be there. And so we really do want everyone to know that that is, you know, first come, first serve for getting registered for that. And then beyond the 2,500, it will be online past that point. So now is really a great time to be finalizing plans, even though that is still a few months out. And I'm just so excited. So thank you, ladies, for sharing on this call today. Really just wishing everyone an amazing week. It's the beginning of a new month. And I just am so proud of all of you for tuning in and watching the replay. So take care and God bless. Bye.